more comic book reviews. I'm starting off this week with Talon, number 7. First off, I want to say I'm so happy that this book is still going. I hope this book continues to go strong because Calvin Rose is a character I'm really growing to love here. This book is awesome. This issue is awesome. Some big things happen, some giant revelations that you're kind of on the fence about at the end of the last issue. We weren't really sure if maybe it was going to go in one direction or if what they found out was correct. You find that out in here, and there's a huge villain revealed at the end who is now working with the court. You'll know if you open the book, it's on the big gatefold cover. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it because it's awesome. It's one of my favorite Batman villains, and I can't wait to see how he's going to play into this book. I'm loving this. If you guys aren't picking up Talon, you should. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
What's up, nerds? My name is Terrell, and this week I review Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 2. Awesomely drawn book by Sarah Pacelli. I cannot just tell you how much I love her work. And of course, if you know anything about Brian Michael Bendis, masterpiece. It was an awesome just to see that the Asgardians are going to be standing side by side with Earth as we take on some of the other empires in the galaxy abroad. So it would be great to see where this goes. Just definitely pick it up. If you know anything about comic books, you know this movie is going to be awesome. I give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
Hey there, guys. Coming here with my comic reviews for this week. I got to read Uncanny Avengers number 7. This book just keeps getting better and better. Rick Remender is an amazing writer. Like I know he's done Fear Agent and so many other great runs on different books, and he has this great following, and a lot of people love him. And I was kind of not skeptical. I knew he was a great writer, but he's really showing his kind of, I don't know, his range. He's able to like mix two really great mythologies within the Marvel Universe, the Avengers and the X-Men, and kind of bring that together in a cool way. Like they have the Quinn Bird, just cool little things like that, cool little nods, and like the way they interact with each other, the characterizations and things like that. Rogue and Scarlet Witch having an argument, and Rogue calling Scarlet Witch out and being like, "Oh, back then I was fighting you, so I was kind of busy dealing with your evil ass." Like it's just a great story, great book, like epic book. And it seems like most Marvel books, especially nowadays, everything inside the actual book is like the big conflicts or life-shattering, earth-changing, like, oh my god, the entire universe will collapse if this thing happens. And it's kind of getting old, but this is one of those few rare instances right now where it's still awesome. It's still really good, and like you still want to read more. It's amping it up and making it so that way the next range of stories, the next era of stories is going to be even bigger and crazier. And I can't wait for it. Giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Read this book immediately.
Hey guys, I got to read Fantastic Four number 7, and I've really been enjoying this book. I feel like it's been really consistent for the most part. However, this issue, I started to get a little frustrated with it. I feel like we're kind of in the same place and it's not really going anywhere. I'm getting kind of anxious to see this storyline with Reed, his body breaking down, tie-ups that we can get to the next story, and we didn't even get any new information about this, and I just want to see something new happen. It looks like we're going to be going there from the way that this issue ended, but I'm not the most enthusiastic about this one. I'm going to give it 3 Nerd Skulls. Hopefully it gets better.
Hey fellow nerds, Jasper here with my review of Justice League Dark issue 19. Now Constantine, Deadman, Madame Xanadu, and Frankenstein have to locate the House of Mystery as it suddenly vanishes from their grasps. They seek the aid of Swamp Thing, but all hell ends up breaking loose as their worst nightmares are coming to reality. Like literally reality. They are all separated as they are all transported to help break them down a lot easier with them not having the group together. So everyone's worst nightmares are coming to life, and right when you think that all things are going to go wrong, Flash comes out of the picture and ends up helping Frankenstein. But as we get deeper into the issue, it ultimately ends with the realization that Swamp Thing is pretty much the main centerpiece around the issue itself, as he's trapped in the House of Mystery itself. So with that said, it's very interesting where this issue is going to go into issue 20, and I'll give this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, I got to read All-Star Western number 19, and I'm so excited about this book because it's starring Booster Gold. I know since Justice League International ended, he kind of disappeared. We don't know where he is. It seems like he doesn't know where he is. Booster Gold is one of my favorite heroes in the DC Universe. I can't wait to see what is going on with him. I feel like there's a bigger thing all behind him, with him disappearing and now he's in the past. I want to see where else he ends up. I think there's more of him to come in this issue, in the next couple issues, though. So excited! I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there, guys. So I also got to read Star Wars Legacy Numero Dos this week, and I read the first one, and the second one, I wouldn't say it was the same level of awesome. It was better than that. It was crazier. It was cool because you understand everything now. The first issue, I think, did a really, really great job of actually making you understand who's who, what's what. You know, you read the little preview, it's like a paragraph and a half, and it just kind of catches you up real quick, and the whole book just does a really good job of keeping you in the loop as to what's happening and to what's going down. Introduces new people, but it doesn't necessarily bog you down with a ton of information about them, only the people that it's necessary. That's a really awesome thing in a comic book, and it's really great that it's in a Star Wars book because that mythology is so freaking huge that it could literally be anything. So it's really awesome that this random, obscure, future expanded universe tale of a franchise that so many people love is almost a perfectly written comic book because the writing is pretty spot on, pretty good. Like, these are all new characters, so I can't oh man, this is exactly like he would be in this issue. I don't know that, but I do know that these guys have their own depths to them. You know, there's similarities between this lady's ancestors. A lot of cool stuff in this book. I really can't praise it enough. It was a little slower, but the payout in the end was really, really good. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
What's up again? I also got to read Batman Incorporated number 11. I'm still reeling from the fact that Damian was killed in the last couple of issues of Batman, and as you can see, that's still injuring Bruce. So he's actually gone ahead and decided to make some pretty gritty decisions in this next issue, joining up with the Man-Bat serum to become this kind of super exoskeleton warrior. Still a really great book. I love the art by Chris Burnham, and I love him and Grant Morrison working together. I give this issue 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Pick it up.
Next up, I got to read Avengers number 10. Some big things are happening in this book. They kind of Tarantino it, where they kind of start out with towards the end, and then they tell you this full story of everything that happened. The team is going into this dome that has appeared to rescue a mega flight, and something so big happens that the rest of the team won't even talk about it. They don't want to discuss it. They don't want to know anything that's going on. They can't kind of forget what they've seen. The end of this issue is something that kind of builds up for more of this Avengers book. I'm really liking what Jonathan Hickman's doing. It feels like a lot of things are really building in all these different directions, and I can't wait to see his big payoff with this. But you guys need to be picking up Avengers. I'm giving Avengers 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Alright guys, so I got to read Mighty Skullkickers number 1 again, and if you are familiar with the Skullkicker series, it's kind of jumping around right now and just changing the title and new number 1s, and it's kind of funny if you know comics in the big picture, because Marvel and DC do that all the time, and it's great that an independent company is doing that, and it's really cool because it makes you think you can just jump in and read the book, and you totally can. You actually could read this book at any of these new number 1s. You can probably jump in the middle of it. I've done it like 3 or 4 times, and it totally makes sense. It's totally fine. There's not too much going on for you to really be like, oh man, this is crazy. It's not Game of Thrones. It's not that confusing. So it's really easy to get into if you did want to jump into it right now. But the story is really awesome. It's really fun. They do a lot of just great fun things with it. If you like comic books, you totally like. If you like Mighty Avengers, the first run with like Frank Cho and stuff like that, you'll love this book because it's kind of set up the same way. You know, crazy animal monsters and, you know, giant crazy Cthulhu things and, you know, big threats. It's very, very big and fluffy and, you know, it's a popcorn movie in comic book form, and I love it for that. And the dead dwarf that was dead the entire issue that they made sure you knew was dead the entire time totally comes back. That's awesome. It's hilarious. And all he wants is beer. That's great. I love it. So I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. because this is how comic books should be. They should be able to be funny. They should be able to be cool. They're funny books for a goddamn reason.
What's up, guys? I'm here again, but this time with the review of Judge Dredd, Year 1, Issue 2. Great book, awesomely drawn, and just a great story. We kind of get to see further into this investigation into what seems to be happening with the children in Megaton City who have been exhibiting powers and such. Very out of his element for Dredd to be handling a situation like this, but as you know, our grizzled vet is always going to make sure that he takes care of it in the most badass way possible. I give this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
All right, I got to read East of West number 2, another awesome Jonathan Hickman book this week. And I have to say, this world that he is building up in this book is incredible. That alone, I just can't wait to see more of this world and more of the characters. You kind of get a bigger breakdown of the different territories in this book and the people involved and what they're doing. And you get to see more of Death's sort of plan, what he has in motion, as well as the other 3 horsemen that are trying to find Death. And there's a huge revelation at the end of this dealing with Death, something that, I didn't know anything about. I can't wait to see this backstory, and like I said, I want to see more of this universe, more of these characters. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.